Hey everybody, it's Mark with Adventures in Ecom, and today I'm going to go over a simple e-commerce startup guide. Now, I've decided to kind of simplify this. I want to talk about it for just a couple of minutes and give you some pointers and highlights and things not to really miss when starting up your ecom store. But I was just recently in a group with some people, with some beginners, giving them some instruction and getting a lot of feedback, and they just have the simplest of questions. You just need to make sure that the time that you're spending is not wasted time. So I want to run this down with you. Also, I had a previous partner who didn't plan anything. There was no guide involved with anything that he did. He just moved forward at such a rapid pace, and the two of us complemented each other pretty well. I was meticulous and liked to make sure that my ducks were in a row, and he flew at 30,000 feet, which is something that kept us moving forward. So together the combination was good. But always make sure that you have a checklist when going in. So let me jump into this real quick. I got this website here on the screen that you see, and I'm going to come back to it, but I got this business plan somewhere online. It is a standard, boring, oh my God, I hate looking at this kind of crap business plan. But let me run through it with you real quick. You've got to have a plan. If you're starting an e-commerce business or any kind of business, you have to have a plan and know where you're going. So just real quick, I'm going to take about a minute on this. An executive summary. Ultimately, this is just going to be something that kind of at 30,000 feet highlights what you're trying to do. And then number two, company analysis. You're really just diving into a little bit more company background, where you came, why you're doing this, etc. Standard industry analysis. This is something that most people in traditional businesses would do. In e-commerce, it's really more about niche research and markets and trends and things of that nature. Number four, customer analysis. This is really where you create your ideal customer avatar, and you have to know who your customer is way before you start selling products, or you'll never drive the right audience to your product or offer. Number five, competitive analysis. I think this is a layup, right? We all know why we need to do competitive analysis. I need to know what my competitors are doing and what can I do that's better than them. Number six, a marketing plan. How am I going to drive that traffic? Now I've identified who my traffic is and why I'm better than my competitors, but how am I going to drive my traffic? So create a marketing plan, come up with a marketing budget, know what your goals are on the back end. Number seven, operations plan. How am I going to run this business? Am I running it? Is it my side hustle? Do I have a 9 to 5? Will I have help and things like this? Teams of people that runs us right into the next one. Management team, who's who? Who's who in the zoo, right? And is it just going to be me? Do I have a VA? Is my wife helping me? Whatever. You just need to plan this out. And the great thing about a business plan is it changes. It's malleable. It's going to change over time. Number nine is a financial plan. I mentioned a second ago, setting a goal. What does this business have to do to produce either a secondary income or an income to replace your business, or an income that's going to buy you a Ferrari and a house and a boat? And, depending on what your lifestyle, depending on what your goals are, you have to know what you're going to go after. And then number 10, an appendix. That's just for anything additional or otherwise that goes in there. But I wanted to drop down here just a little bit, and I think some little tips that help kind of differentiate you and make sure that you have your e-commerce business on the right path. The first one is to, that I've seen this done, and I'm going to show you here in just one second, but to create a personalized homepage. And I thought this was really neat. Let me put this as a bullet point here, so I have a couple of things I'm talking on. But create a personalized homepage, and I thought this was really cool. Here's this website that I had up just a second ago, ASOS, and this is not their homepage. Although it is their homepage, it's not their front-end homepage. Their cookies personalize this site to me and my homepage. When I visit here a second time, it knows who I am. It knows what I've been interested in. So when I come straight back to ASOS.com, it literally drops me right on the men's section where I can start browsing for apparel and attire. Like this little outfit right here, I think I would look killer in it, especially with Halloween approaching. But a personalized homepage and experience for your customers is something that is starting to become more and more prevalent, and you'll get some benefits from that. The second one really is to add new product categories to your store. And oops, not new, just new. So basically, one of the things that you want to continue to do is add new product categories. Here you can see some of the top level categories: jackets and coats, shoes and sneakers, sweaters, hoodies, sweatshirts, etc. Maybe add belts and other apparel, or whatever. If you have an audience, especially a returning base audience, you want to be continuing to offer them new items in your store. So be sure and do that. The next thing on my list is to I can't even spell. Experiment with prices. Now, I know depending on your niche or whatever it is you're doing, or this is clothing, you may want to you want to stay within, you're looking at your ROI, you're looking at your product cost, and you're looking at your competitive analysis to see what Levi hoodies are going for, or Adidas shoes, etc. But you want to experiment with this pricing, and it doesn't necessarily always mean to just lower the price. It doesn't mean lower the price. Actually, quite the opposite. What I would do is I would try to maybe include some bundles. Maybe it's a sweatshirt and sneakers bundle, and play with the price on that, because if you're getting multiple sales in one shot, then you have a little wiggle room in there from marketing dollars and shipping costs that you can play with some of your prices a little bit, but experiment with your prices. Another thing that I want you to do is to improve your search on your site. Now, these guys have a right here and in the middle a search bar, and that's great. And you'll notice as I scroll down, it's going and it has disappeared. Luckily, when I swipe up a little bit, it reappears for me. But you always want to make sure, especially if you're in a store that has multiple categories, has lots of product, etc., that you make it super, super easy for people to search and find what they're looking for. More so nowadays than in the past, the search bar has become as prevalent as some of the categorical navigation and things on an e-commerce site. So especially on mobile, it's so much easier to just go into the search bar than it is to try to navigate on a site. So speaking of mobile, you want to have a mobile, what's called a mobile first design. Not design. You want to have a mobile first design. So when we're looking at this store, and I come up here to the top, let me shrink it down here, and you can see that it is responsive and mobile ready. So these guys have done a great job at doing that. But make sure your website is mobile, or you just won't even get out of the starting block. So keep that in mind as well. All right, another tip that I have is to create, like I mentioned a minute ago, is to create bundles. You want to create bundles that will increase your average order value, just like when I said this Levi's hoodie and Adidas sneakers. Just imagine how cool you'd be walking down the street in some Levi hoodie and Adidas sneaker, right? I know I would. I would probably look a little bit like this guy. But when you go into some of these categories, let's see what they got here, and I'll just jump into something cool. Here's a beanie, mustard color beanie. Let's see if they recommend. So they, you might also like these other types of beanies. So that's definitely good. And then by the look, I would definitely, if I were them, they have more room in here for this, but to flesh out more accessories. So here's a hoodie that might go good. Here's a hoodie that might go goody with that beanie, or maybe it's pants, maybe it's the shoes, maybe it's whatever. But basically you can complete a whole look by just looking here on this website or on this page. So definitely add that kind of stuff. Another thing to really do is when I add this to cart, add multiple payment methods. If I go to checkout, let's see what they have here. Free shipping worldwide, that's great. Sign in with whatever. I'm not going to go to. Okay, so here they have Visa, MasterCard, blah, 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 Apple Pay. They have PayPal. That's a good thing. Maybe Stripe Pay. I would also add Amazon Pay. So many people have Amazon wallets because, I don't know, Amazon's pretty big, right? So Amazon Pay would be another good thing to add there. So multiple payment options. Don't chase a customer away because they don't have their electronic wallet available on your website. Another thing that I think you should do, let's go back here, is and see what they have real quick, is to have a blog on your website. And it doesn't really look like they have this on here, but have a blog so that you can create a community. If you have returning customers, then you want to have your rabid fans come back, your good customers come back. They're excited about their purchase and talk about it. You want to create a community, an engagement platform, and ultimately just a place where people feel like they can contribute. This goes a really, really long way, especially if you have something, maybe if you're in the dog niche or survival niche or something that people are really, really passionate about. I know they're probably more passionate about it than some Adidas sneakers, but if you're in another niche that has really heightened focus on passion, then for sure you want to create that sense of community and involvement. And another thing that plays off of community ultimately is to be able to try to build some sort of subscription into it. So if you can, again, if you are, let's go to dogs. So things that consumable goods like food and things like that, if you can create some sort of subscription-based product and delivery that just automatically rebills them maybe once every 30 days, whatever, so that it is sending fresh dog food that your dog just loves. Make it super easy on your customers. They don't always want to have to remember that Spike has Kiblets and Bits. So make sure that you are able to offer a subscription-based model in your business. And I think that will really help generate more sales. So this is my little list of ideas and tips to really kind of launch your business and things to look out for along with that awesome business plan. If you found good value in this video, then give me a thumbs up. Go ahead and like the video, share it with a friend if you know someone that is starting an e-commerce business. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you will stay up on the latest in e-com.